Okay, so good morning, students. Okay, so we'll start the today's lecture. In the last lecture, we have seen the characteristics of triac, which is, if you see in first quadrant, which is very similar to the SCR characteristics, right? Uh, and if you see in the third quadrant, the characteristics of triac, which is exactly replica of first quadrant. So in third quadrant, the gate voltage is either positive or negative, but that time the uh, output or anode current, you can say triac current and triac voltage, both is negative. So we'll see the operation. Your triac works in four different operating modes. So first operating mode, that is MT2 is positive with respect to MT1 and when gate is positive. Okay. So see here, MT1 is a negative, the negative terminal of battery connected to the MT1, and MT2 is made positive. The positive is shown here. The battery is not directly shown, but positive negative voltages are shown. So you can understand that MT1 is negative with respect to MT2. MT2 is positive and gate is positive. Okay. If MT2 is positive, it means that MT1 is definitely negative and gate is positive, the voltage applied to the gate is positive with respect to MT1. Okay, so this is the first mode. What happens in this first mode uh, when such arrangement is 1 minute, such such hello. So MT2 is positive with respect to MT1 and gate is positive. So in this particular figure, if you see that what happens exactly, the junction, this is the junction J1, junction J2 and junction J3. Okay, so J3 junction, actually this one junction J1, J2 or J3, we can say junction J1, J2 and J3, whatever the names are there. But in this particular figure, whatever the figure that I shared with you in my notes, in which I have shown this one is as a J1, this one J2 and J3. Okay, so no doubt, no problem. Junction J1 and J3 is already forward bias. How? Because the negative terminal of battery connected to the N2, right? So definitely more number of electrons are get added into N2. So that depletion layer at junction J3, that is junction between N2 and P2, the junction between N2 and P2. So this junction is a forward bias because the electrons get added into the N2 layer so that the depletion layer at N2P2 decreases, right? Similarly, MT2 is positive So more number of holes get added into the P region, or you can say P1 region, so that the junction J1 is also forward bias, and depletion region at junction J1 also reduces, right, as your voltage increases. So only junction J2 is reverse bias, as like your SCR. So junction J2 is reverse bias. So in this junction J2, this junction J2 is forward bias when we apply gate voltage, right? So if gate voltage is absent and if you are applying MT2 positive with respect to MT1, so still your device not conducting. Your device is in a forward blocking state, right? So when you apply positive gate voltage in this particular figure, positive gate voltage that is applied, so current into this P2, that is more number of holes. See, this terminal is not connected. Okay, so this normally what happens? The more number of holes get added into the P2 layer, right? So number of holes get increases into the P2. So junction J2 becomes a forward bias, right? As your junction P2 for P2 N1, this is P2N1 is junction J2, it becomes forward bias, and then current start to flow through the device, right? So actually the gate current forward bias is junction P2N1, and because of that additional holes are injected into the P2 region, the depletion region J2 also break, and triac works as a normal SCR. Triac works as a normal SCR. So triac operating in a first quadrant, and the main SCR that is called P1 N1 P2 N2. P1 N1 P2 N2 conducts, and its characteristics lies in a first quadrant. Okay, because this time the uh, triac current is positive, right, and the voltage is also a positive. So characteristics lies in a first quadrant. Okay, so that is the first. It works norm as like a normal SCR, or you can say maybe a SCR characteristics, and triac characteristics in this particular board is same. Okay, so that is first one. Then second, uh, when MT2 is positive now, but gate is negative. Gate is negative with respect to MT1, and MT2 is positive with respect to MT1, right? So positive terminal of gate is connected to the MT1. At the same time, the another battery which is connected between MT1 and MT2, whose negative terminal is connected to the MT1 and positive to the MT2, right? So this is another mode of operation of triac. So in this particular mode, what happens exactly? See, initial conduction is shown here and final conduction also shown here. So due to this particular negative gate current, the electrons in this particular N3 region increases, right? So that the P1, N1, P2, N3, if more number of electrons get added into this N3 layer, right, and the positive holes get added into the P2 from this particular battery terminal to this terminal, and then see the Ig is shown here how it flows. So when this Ig flows from MT1 towards the gate, that time it will inject more number of holes into the P2 layer. It injects more number of holes into the P2 layers, so that the junction at N3P2 reduces and it becomes a forward bias. So initially the SCR conducts, that is P1, N1, P2, N3. P1, N1, P2, N3. This SCR conducts. This is basically called as maybe a pilot SCR. After that, what happens? The more number of electrons are maybe injected into the P2 layer, and finally, because the this particular junction that is called N2 P2 is forward bias due to this gate voltage, after that, after some time, this main SCR, that is P1 N1 P2 N2 also conduct. It is called as a final conduction. So initially pilot SCR turns on P1, N1, P2, N3 because of this effect of this negative gate voltage. But after short time, when the excess charge carriers field into this P2 layer, automatically the junction at P2 and 2, that is junction J3, breaks, and then your final SCR conducts called P1, N1, P2, N2. This is called main SCR. P1, N1, P2, N2 conducts, right? So this is the second operating mode. Still, the current is positive and voltage is also positive. That is MT2 is positive with respect to MT1. So characteristics still lies in a first quadrant. So either your gate voltage may be positive or negative, but if MT2 is positive with respect to MT1, the characteristics lies in a first quadrant, right? What happens only if gate current is negative? Because of this gate current or reverse gate current, initially pilot SCR turns on, and later on when more excess charge carriers field into the P2 layer, main SCR conducts. Once P1, P2 and 2 conducts, it means that the characteristics lies in a first quadrant. Okay, this should be remember, either gate voltage is positive or negative. The SCR working or SCR characteristics is depends on if MT2 is positive with respect to MT1, it means that your SCR works in a first quadrant. Okay, if the gate is positive with respect to MT1, directly your main SCR conducts called as a P1, N1, P2, N2. But if the gate is reverse, because of this reverse gate voltage or negative gate voltage, initially P1, N1, P2, N3, this SCR will conduct. This is called pilot SCR. And later on, when more number of carriers or charge carriers field into the P2 layer, automatically the depletion layer at P2 and 2 breaks, and then final conduction takes place, that is P1, N1, P2 and 2. So once P1, N1, P2 and 2 conducts, it means that your SCR characteristics lies in a first quadrant. So dear student, this pilot SCR will turn on for very short time. Immediately free charge carriers feed into the P2 layer, and because of that the final conduction takes place. Okay, so this is the second operating mode of TRIAC. Then third operating mode of TRIAC. See, in this particular mode, MT1 is positive with respect to MT2. MT2 is negative and negative gate current. The current is also negative. And last operating mode, MT2 is negative, but gate current is positive. So these are the two remaining modes. So we'll see this one. MT2 is negative and gate current is negative. Okay. So this is a normal operating mode, that is directly main SCR conducts. But as like previous one that we have seen, the MT2 is positive but gate current is negative. So in this particular situation, first pilot SCR turns on and then final conduction takes place. Similarly, in a last operating mode, when MT2 is negative but gate is positive, again same thing is happen. Initially pilot SCR turns on and then final conduction takes place, right? So these two modes, if you understand, then we will go for the next one. If any doubt, you can ask me. But dear student, if again remember one thing, if MT2 is positive and gate is also positive, MT2 positive, gate positive, I'll share this PPT with you, and even you can read the notes. Already I shared my PDF, maybe handwritten notes in a PDF form on your group, so you can read that notes so that you can easily understand exactly what happens. So MT2 is positive with respect to MT1, and if gate is positive, that time your characteristics lies in a first quadrant. The triac current is positive and triac voltage is also positive. Okay. If the gate current is negative, but still MT2 is positive, see what happens. MT2 is positive, but gate current is reverse. So in this situation, first pilot SCR turns on, and later on, after a very short time, the final conduction takes place. That is the main SCR turns on, right? So this is the operating mode 2. So operating mode 2 and operating mode 4 both are same. If you see that in operating mode 4, the MT2 is negative and gate is positive. So it is opposite again. Here also it's opposite. MT2 is positive and gate is negative. And in last mode, MT2 is negative and gate is positive. So in last mode also same thing is happen. Initially pilot SCR turns on and finally the main SCR turns on. So this is the second mode. Now we'll see third mode. Uh, in third mode, MT2 is a negative and MT1 is positive. Gate is also negative, right? So what happens? Due to the negative voltage applied at the MT2, this junction J1 is forward bias, junction J1, P1 and 4. The junction J1 forms at P1 and 4. So this P1 and 4 is forward bias, right? And due to the gate current is negative, junction N3P2 is also forward bias. Junction N3P2 is also forward bias. Only junction J2, which is made between N1P2, is reverse bias, right? So when you apply the gate voltage, because of that, what happens? The more number of electrons get added here, but at the same time, the holes get added into the P2 layer, right? Through this MT1. More number of holes get added into the P2 region, so that the junction J2 is also forward bias, and your SCR, that is P2, N1, P1 and 4, this SCR turns on. Okay, so P2, N1, P1 and 4. See, once SCR turns on, if you remove the gate voltage as like the SCR, your triac remains on, right? So actually current flows between MT1 and MT2 only. The gate will help to forward by the junction J2. Okay, this should be remember. Current is always flows between MT1 and MT2. Now MT1 is positive here with respect to MT2. So current flows from MT1 towards MT2. Okay, your current flows from MT1 to MT2. So P2, N1, P1 and 4. This is your actual SCR in this particular mode, right? So the current flows from MT1 to MT2. So this is definitely a negative current, and voltage is also a negative. That's why the characteristics lies in a third quadrant. And last one, that is again same, MT2 is a negative with respect to MT1 and gate is positive, right? So gate is positive. So again same thing is happen. Initially N2, P2, N1, P1, that will be conduct, and finally your P2, N1, P1 and 4 SCR will conduct, right? So initially that is your pilot SCR conducts, and finally your main SCR conducts. And again the current is negative because MT2 is negative, so current is negative, gate is either positive or negative. Definitely the characteristics lies in a third quadrant. So already we have seen this characteristics, right? So in this particular characteristics, gate is either positive or negative, but still your triac works in a third quadrant. If MT2 is negative, MT2 is negative, it means that the triac current is also negative. This is triac current. This current positive, negative. This is called triac current. Okay. So this triac current is always a negative if MT2 is negative. Whatever the gate current is either positive or negative. If gate current is negative, directly main SCR turns on. If gate current is positive, in this situation, Initially, pilot SCR turns on, and finally main SCR turns on, right? Similarly, in first quadrant, the MT2 is positive with respect to MT1. If MT2 is positive, the triac current is always positive, right? If gate current is positive, then directly main SCR turns on. If gate current is negative, initially pilot SCR turns on, and then finally main SCR turns on. Okay, so I'll again repeat in a short, and then we will see the next one. Uh, in a triac, there are total 4 operating modes. First operating mode, MT2 is positive, gate is positive. Second operating mode, MT2 is positive, gate is negative. Third operating mode, MT2 is negative, gate is negative. And last operating mode, MT2 is negative, gate is positive. Okay, so in first mode, first and second operating mode, MT2 is always positive. So current, triac current is also positive, and the voltage across triac is also positive. Okay, so gate, if it is positive, directly main SCR turns on. If gate is negative, initially pilot SCR turns on, and finally later on the main SCR turns on. Okay, similarly in third quadrant, when MT2 is negative with respect to MT1, the triac current is always negative, right? If gate is also negative, directly your main SCR turns on, that is P2 N1. I don't remember exactly which SCR is, but directly main SCR turns on. But if gate is positive, again same thing is happen as like in a first quadrant. Initially pilot SCR turns on, and later on your main SCR turns on. So this is about the 4 operating modes of a triac. Many times these 4 operating modes may be asked in examination. Uh, every time to draw such type of figure is not important. You can refer my notes in which a symbolic diagrams are shown which are sufficient to explain these 4 operating modes. But at least you should draw this first one, that is first operating mode, when MT2 is positive and gate is also positive. So draw this one first, and then remaining diagram you can refer the notes. Only symbolic diagrams are shown, that is sufficient to explain the 4 operating modes of SCR. Sorry, try it. Okay, so it is about the operating modes of a triac. Now, advantages of triac. So if you see the advantage, it can be triggered with positive or negative polarity of gate pulses, right? So triac maybe turns on if you apply positive gate voltage or negative gate voltage, it maybe turns on for both one. Then uh, it requires only a single heat sink. This is another advantage, right? If you are using 2 SCRs, which is connected anti-parallel, it also works as a triac, but it requires 2 separate heat sinks, right? But if you are using triac, a single heat sink is sufficient, right? So it requires only single heat sink of a slightly larger size, whereas for SCR, 2 heat sinks should be required for of a smaller size. So heat sink is required to dissipate more temperature. Actually, we will see heat sink in a unit number 2. So heat sinks are required for protecting power devices from overheating, right? But if you are using 2 SCRs connected anti-parallel, it also works as a triac, but it requires 2 separate heat sinks. And if you are using one triac in place of 2 SCRs, so it requires only one heat sink, right? So that is advantage. Then third one, it required a single fuse for protection. This is another advantage. If you are using 2 SCR anti-parallel in place of triac, so you require 2 separate fuses to protect both the SCR. Fuse is used to protect the SCR from any high current spike or maybe a high current protection. Normally fuse are used to protect our power devices from any high current, right? So if you are using triac, a single fuse is sufficient. then a shape of breakdown in either direction is possible, but for SCR, protection should be given with a parallel diode. So if you are using SCR, that is two SCR anti-parallel in place of triac, so we should connect two parallel diodes, that is called freewheeling diode, to protect the SCRs from any high voltage current, maybe high voltage spikes. So that is protection is required for SCR, but in triac you can give a single protection, that is sufficient. Then disadvantage of triac, there are some disadvantages. They are not much reliable compared to SCR. As already I explained in a first lecture when we have started SCR, that the SCRs are always referred for high power operation or maybe a applications. So if you replace the SCR with a triac, that is two anti-parallel SCR replaced with a triac, but triac is not that much reliable, or maybe a power handling capacity is also not that is equivalent to the SCR. SCR is the only one device who's having a very high power handling capacity among the all switching devices in electronics, right? Then it has dV by dt ratings lower than SCR. Already I told you that is the power rating, then current rating capacity, then voltage rating capacity. Everything that is in a triac is lower than SCR. SCR is having the higher current rating, higher voltage rating, higher temperature handling capacity, everything. So these are the advantages of SCR, but these are the disadvantages of triac. So triac can be replaced for the SCR for AC voltage or AC power control, but still the SCR has its own advantage. Then these are the applications they are used in a control circuits. It is used in a high power lamp switching. It is used in AC power control and so on. So these are some advantages of triac, right? So triac has definitely some advantages or maybe applications. But if you compare triac with SCR, and that question may be asked in examination, so these advantage disadvantages are definitely helpful to you to explain the comparison between SCR and triac. Okay, so that is again most important, because in many in question papers, maybe in NSEM or NSEM, there will be a question: compare IGBT and MOSFET, and compare MOSFET and SCR and triac. So triac has high dV by dt rating, uh, as compared to, SCR has high dV by dt rating as compared to triac. Then is in SCR there are some disadvantages, and triac has some advantage disadvantages. So with the help of these advantage disadvantage of triac and similarly advantages of SCR, you can write the answer for comparison between triac and SCR. So it is about the triac, and this is the end of your first unit. Okay, so already I shared all the PPTs. Even I have already started to share the lecture videos on uh, YouTube. So links are also shared with you. Very soon I'll share all the lectures on YouTube, so you can see the lecture videos whenever you have a time or maybe a doubts. So that is possible. Now we will start the unit number second. Okay, so unit number second. Okay, so unit number second. If you see the syllabus of unit number second, so that syllabus is given here. This syllabus is divided in two parts: the gate drive circuits and base drive circuits. Base Basically, base drive is not the part of your syllabus because we are not using power BJT in your syllabus. So only gate drive circuits, gate drive for SCR and TRIAC, and gate drive for MOSFET and IGBT, right? So the syllabus is gate drive circuit, uh, then need of a gate drive, then isolation of a gate and base drive circuits. So isolations may be achieved in a two different ways. One is pulse transformer, another is a optocoupler. So these are the two different methods uh, for isolations. Then synchronize UJT triggering for SCR, then triggering of SCR and TRIAC using dedicated ICs. There is a one practical for you, that is SCR triggering by using IC 785, which is very similar to the IC 555 used to trigger the SCR or TRIAC. Then TRIAC triggering using a DIAC. So DIAC is not a part of your syllabus, but DIAC is another bidirectional device normally used to trigger the TRIAC, right? And then typical gate drive circuits for power MOSFET and IGBT, and microcontroller based circuit for power electronic applications, which is again a gate drive circuit. And in the second part of this syllabus, that is protections for power devices. So protections, as already discussed in the last topic, that is heat sink. So heat sinks are also used for protecting the power devices from overheating. So protection circuits for power devices, cooling and heat sinks, then snubber circuit, then reverse recovery transients, supply and load side transients, which is again maybe already we have seen reverse recovery current, right? When we have seen the switching characteristics of LCR, that time we have seen a reverse recovery transients or reverse recovery current. If that current increases, then it may damage your device in a reverse direction. So that is called reverse recovery transients. Then voltage protections by selenium diode and MOVs, right? So these are the two protective devices are given to protect your power devices. Even snubber circuit is also used to protect your power device from any high rate of change of voltage. Selenium diode and MOVs both are also used for protecting your power devices from any high rate of change of voltage. Then current protections, a different type of fuse is used to protect the power devices. Then fault current with AC source and fault current with DC source. So this is a syllabus for your second unit. Syllabus, if you look, it's a very heavy syllabus, but it takes very short time to complete the syllabus because small topics are there, but the topics are definitely maybe a more. So in your final theory exam or maybe in an same, uh, the question is asked on UJT triggering many times. Then isolation, what are the different techniques of isolation? That is pulse transformer and optocoupler. So question in this first part may be asked on UJT triggering, isolation, that is pulse transformer and optocoupler, and one more question is asked in examination, microprocessor based control circuit, right? So these are the four important questions from this first part of syllabus of your second unit. And in second part, the snubber circuit is asked many times, even heatsink is asked, even cooling is asked, cooling heatsink, different type of cooling techniques is asked in examination. Then heatsink is also asked, maybe write a short note on heatsink and so on. Then draw the snubber circuit and explain how it protects your SCR from any high dV by dt, that may be asked. Then selenium diode is also asked in examination, but write a short note on selenium diode and MOV. Such type of question is asked. And in one examination, this current protection is also asked. So different type of fuses. So that is also a question asked. So second part of this unit having maybe a more number of questions. We'll see one. The objective of this chapter, identify the gate characteristics. Already we have seen the different characteristics and requirements for designing the gate drive circuits. Whatever gate drive circuits we are designing, so whatever the requirements for that we have to learn here. Then identify the gate characteristics and requirements for designing base drive circuits using BJT and MOSFET. So base drive is not basically a part of, but this is a for power BJT. Develop the isolation techniques. This is most important actually. Why isolation is required? Because your power circuit works on a large power, something in kilowatt or maybe in megawatt, right? And the logic circuits which generates triggering pulses, which normally works on maybe a 5 volt, 3 to 5 volt, right? So to protect our the switching circuits or maybe a gate drive circuits from such type of high voltage rating or maybe a voltage or current spikes from power circuits, sometimes power circuits fails and your gate drive circuits may damage due to such high voltage and current rating. So we have to protect our uh, power devices, sorry, logic circuits from power devices, and that's why normally we are using isolation, right? So isolation is required to protect our logic circuit, which generates the triggering pulses, right? Because triggering pulses are directly connected to the gate of power devices, which works on a very large voltage and current. So sometimes maybe a large excessive current flow through the gate, which may damage your logic circuits. So if you connect a logic circuit directly to the gate, definitely it happens and your logic circuits may damage, right? Normally in three-phase converters or maybe a three-phase inverters, there are maybe a 6 or maybe sometimes 3 or 6 SCRs we are using. So in that circuit, normally we are using microprocessor based triggering circuit. So if such high current flow through the microprocessor, then it may damage your microprocessor circuit. So isolation is required to isolate or to protect your logic circuit, which generates triggering pulses from any excessive voltage or current which may flow through the gate, right? So that is the part of your syllabus. Then what is the requirement of this particular gate drive circuits, right? See, every power device, maybe a CR, maybe triac, maybe the MOSFET or IGBT or anyone, these devices are turns on only when the gate voltage is applied. Even MOSFET, enhancement type MOSFET, depletion type MOSFET is not normally used in a switching circuits. Only enhancement type MOSFET is used in a switching circuit. And in enhancement type MOSFET, that is called normally off MOSFET, if your gate current is zero or if your gate voltage is zero, then no current flow through the MOSFET. That is a drain current is also equal to zero, right? Similarly, SCR, if gate current is absent, your SCR will never conduct and anode current is zero. So if to turn on SCR or maybe a power devices, we should apply gate voltage or gate current to the device. That is a need. Without gate, these devices never turns on, right? The output of this circuit is used to control the voltage converters. So any circuit in which power switching devices are used,